Hello, we are on three, day three of the Go Live Challenge. Yesterday, I told you my origin story, and I sort of skipped over the part where I got my degree. So today, I'm going to tell you that story. I was living in Okotoks, and I had just finished my hotel and restaurant management diploma, and I was doing nothing with it. It was 2008, which is right when the housing crisis bubble thing happened. So it was not a good time for anybody, and especially restaurants, or I should say, especially those industries that rely on disposable income. And I was living in a town of about 20,000 people at the time, and so I was not having any luck getting a restaurant job. I instead found a job at a liquor store, and so I was working there and barely able to pay bills, and it just became very apparent that if I was going to do anything with the rest of my life, I guess that's kind of a big question, then I needed to go back to school. And I had already identified that accounting was a thing that I just had to be doing, so I decided I was going to go back to school to get an accounting certificate. So I signed up for my courses, and I took my courses, and I got this certificate, and I'm working at the liquor store at the same time. I was like doing homework in the wine boxes, not in the wine boxes, but like amongst the wine boxes at the back between customers as I was, working full time trying to go to school. So I finished my course. I have this certificate, and I'm like, yes, now what? And I'm working at the store, and an old friend of mine comes in, and he's just sort of asking me what's going on, and we're chatting, and I tell him, oh, I just finished this accounting certificate, and I'm super excited about it. And the guy behind him in line, so my friend leaves, and the guy behind him in line gets up to the counter, and he says, hey, I overheard you talking to your friend, and you just finished your accounting certificate. And I was like, yeah, I'm so excited. He's like, did you want to come in for an interview at my office? He had an accounting office, which I had no idea. He was a regular, but I had no idea. And I was like, yes, I want that very much. And so I went in, and I was interviewed, and I talked to all of the people that worked there. It was only like 5 or 6 people, but sitting in a room of 5 or 6 people for your first real interview is terrifying. Anyways, it went well, and I got that job. And oh my goodness, it was so much fun. I learned, there's a woman who worked at that office, and she was the only designated accountant in the office, and she really took me under her wing, and she taught me how to do bookkeeping and year ends, and I talked to the CRA on behalf of clients, and I just learned all the ropes of working in an accounting office, and I loved doing that. I just loved doing that. Unfortunately, there was a woman who worked there. It was the wife of the owner, and she was just miserable. She was miserable. And I could not stay there. I worked there for a year, and then I just had to quit. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so I did. I quit, and I went back to the liquor store. And I realized very quickly that if I wanted to do anything in accounting, anything at a pretty high level in accounting, I was going to need more than the certificate that I had. So I decided I was going to do my business degree. That was the first step in order to get into the CPA program. At the time, it was a CA program, but same thing. So I start this degree. I signed up. I decided I'm going to do it online because I had so much success doing that with the accounting certificate. And I got accepted to the online degree program, and I'm starting my courses, and it's all going well, and I'm doing homework in the back of the liquor store between wine boxes. And I realized very quickly that if I was going to do this degree in less than 10 years, I was going to have to up my pace a little with the courses. 2 courses every 6 months really wasn't going to do it. So I said to my boyfriend at the time, I was like, okay, listen, I need to go to school full time. we need to move to Calgary. We need to move out of the small town that we're in, and you're gonna have to work full time and support us, but like, we're doing this for us. Like, it's gonna be hard for a bit, but like, it's worth it. And he looked at me and he said, you know what, we can move to Calgary and you can go to school if you want, but you're gonna have to work because I'm not gonna support us. And I was like, are you serious? Seriously? We've been together 5 years. You're not gonna do this for me, for us, for our future. And I wish I had said it at the time, but I just thought to myself, fine, I can do this on my own. I don't need you for this. And so I called my sister, and she was living in Victoria going to school at the time. And I said, hey, you want a roommate? And she did. She was like, yes, please come to Victoria. Let's live together. We'll hang out. We'll both be students. It'll be great. And so I did. I got rid of everything I didn't need, and I packed up my car, and my mom packed up her truck with me, and my mom and her husband drove out to Victoria with mine and some of my sister's stuff. And that was August of 2012. Yeah. And so I was there for a couple years with my sister. I was doing my online degree. She did her chemistry degree at UVic. And it was a tough couple of years doing an online degree and not knowing anybody in town and not really knowing how to meet people. And so I got through, it took 2 years, and it was October 2014. And I had just gone through the CPA recruitment program. And so I had gone and done a bunch of interviews and whatever. And so October 17th, 2014, I remember this day, was the very last exam that I wrote for my business degree. And on October 21st, so 4 days later, I had 3 job offers to go. I had to go back to Calgary to do it, but I had 3 job offers, and they were going to pay for my CPA program. And I had done it. It was a slog, oh my goodness, but I did it. And now I was forced to choose between these 3 job offers, and one of them was at a forensic accounting firm, one of them was at one of the big 4 accounting firms, and one of them was in industry at an oil and gas company. And I remember thinking like, man, what is my future gonna be like? Like, this is a crossroads for me. I had always wanted to be at this big 4 accounting firm. I'd always wanted to do forensic accounting. Like, that sounds cool. And I didn't want to be in oil and gas necessarily, because that's not, I don't know. It was not what I thought I would be doing. But I talked to my mom, and she said, you know what? The oil and gas company is going to pay you twice as much as the accounting firms, and you get to work half as much. So you're gonna, like, you've worked really hard for the last couple years. You can make a choice right now to make your life easier for the next couple years, because it's going to be hard enough. She said, easy is not wrong. Easy is not inherently wrong. And that has really stuck with me. And like, she was right. I am so glad I decided to go and work in oil and gas, because I was able to pay my bills. I was able to work and to go home and get my schoolwork done and not feel totally drained and burnt out by the end of that program. And, you know, I try to apply this in my business now. Like, easy is not inherently wrong. So I try to outsource things because it's easier, because I'm not good at that stuff. The job's going to be better. I try to create systems in my business and automate things, because if I have to do it manually, it's probably not the easiest way to go about it. I would love to hear about your story as well. Like, what is it in your business that's hard that maybe doesn't have to be? Can you streamline it? Do you even need to do it? If there's anything in your business that seems hard and like it shouldn't be, and you'd like my eyes on it, I would love to help you. Drop your questions in the comments, and I will absolutely help you out. If you're having trouble with the money side of your business, I have a free PDF download that is the 7 accounting mistakes that small business owners make and quick fixes to get it out of trouble. Because believe it or not, accounting can be easy too.